Do I have relevance to talk about this? Probably not. Will more voices make the situation better? I mean, everyone's talking about it and putting it on their platforms and nothing changes. The fact that this issue is not one of mine, it's going to be a problem we're discussing, but it's not one of my problems. But it's a problem to too many people, and this needs sorting. So we're just going to get into it. So, as always, like and follow, but I'm not making this video about making me bigger. This is about a much bigger problem. This is a problem in America. I do not live in America, so thankfully this is not really a problem that I've had to think about for myself and for my family. But I fear, and my heart is with parents in America, children in America, teachers in America who go into work, go into school, send their children into school and think, is my loved one coming home today? Am I going to go home safe today? And that should not be a thought. This might be a bit late because I do not know even where to start with this. When you find this out, it's one of those days where you hug your own children tighter. And I cannot imagine the thought process that prior to this happening was still probably a thought in their head of the children in this elementary, which I think is primary school to us, just a little bit older than my own son. But to think, am I going to come home today at school? I know people who work in much more dangerous careers where it is actually in your contract, you might suffer risk of death here. And they've worried less, because it should not be the case that children about 5 years old are practicing. We do fire safety drills because that can happen, that's an accident, could happen. There should not be gun safety practice. There's just not a thing that should exist. And there's comments in, well, why don't we just put bulletproof shields in the backpacks? We shouldn't have to put bulletproof shields in a child's backpack to keep them safe. This should not be an issue, and I question the gun laws in America and how. I remember Luke and I had this conversation. I said, did you see what happened in America? And he asked, what do you mean? And I was like, the elementary school and the shooting, and I think it was 18 children who passed. And there was 2 teachers, I believe, correct me if I've got my facts wrong, but that's what I think I read. And it's nothing new. And that's disgusting. If that was to happen in this country, that is news, and the laws are changed, and that does not happen again. Why does this keep happening and nothing's changing? What do we do to change it? I am not in the right country to be able to change it. And I am wanting to make a change to this of something that I cannot get involved in. These children who lost their lives, and all of their friends, family, loved ones, but the young children who lost their lives, they are not old enough to vote. They could not vote for any gun law changes. So this thing that took their lives, they could not even vote to get rid of it. And there needs to be something put in place to protect the children who cannot protect themselves, because that is the job of an adult, to protect children, whether it is your own or not. You protect children. Why are we not doing that? Why is that not a thing that the American government are thinking? The rights, like your right to bear arms, should not be a thing. Who needs that right? Nobody needs that right. And it scares me that there are people in power who think owning a gun is more of a priority than protecting a child. I do not really worry about this when I send Jackson to nursery or Luke goes to work, because it's not really an issue here, thankfully. But I would dread the thought of thinking every morning when I send Jackson into nursery, is this the day he doesn't come home? I dread the day when Luke stresses on, I wonder if this student's going to pass his exams, and thinking, Am I coming home today? That is not what anyone should be thinking going to work. I know police officers, firefighters who don't think that going into work because they have the protection and the training needed, and they're grown adults. A 5-year-old should not be training to protect their lives of something that shouldn't be an issue. I worry when Jackson goes to nursery. Is he okay? Is he eating his lunch? I wonder who his friends are today. Or what if he's fallen over and cut himself? That's the extent of my worry of his pain. Or does he have a graze on his knee? I do not think about a bullet going through him. I do not think when Luke goes to work, I just can't fathom thinking like that, and I don't get how this is not addressed further. I know I'm not a voice who can change anything. It's just something that has been playing on my mind, and I know it's posted later than this did happen, and sadly, by the time this is posted, I wouldn't be surprised if another catastrophic event similar happened. We should not think like that we are worrying that a catastrophic event might happen to young children, to people we love, and a change isn't made. When these things happened in England, in the UK, when there was an issue in Scotland, that's it, gun laws changed immediately, because that was more important to protect people than the right to bear arms. And the bearing arms, what do you need that for? What do you need to have a constant access to a gun? It's kind of scary. I would not trust a gun in my house when I've known people in America, well, not personally, but I've seen on social media people, oh yeah, here's one video about my 4-year-old and we're playing in the garden. Next video, here's my gun collection. I just worry that that's a thing and they get hold of that. It's made a thing, or what if they need a psych evaluation, they need it's always a mental health issue. Mental health, they could have not been tested for any mental health problem prior to this outburst, I don't know, that causes them to go and shoot up a school. So mental health cannot be put in as the wrong thing there. That's not the problem. I have bad mental health. I have no desire, no thoughts that disgust me that it is a thought of people to shoot up a school. And why is it always schools? Why is it young lives that we are supposed to be moulding into these better people? I don't know how I can make a difference, and I honestly don't think I can. I don't know what is to be done. I'm in the wrong country, I'm not in a political position, but I just seriously hope some people in political power just see the amount of damage that 100,000-year-old law is causing. So much damage, and we wonder why children are growing up the way they are. I don't really know what else to say on the matter, and I'm just hoping that something changes drastically.